Good evening, and welcome to the meeting of the Board of Education for Murfreesboro City Schools for October 29th, 2024. I want to welcome everyone who's joining us here tonight. Thank you for being here, and thank you to those of you who are watching us from elsewhere. We are going to start with the calling this meeting to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. During our moment of silence, I want to ask that you remember a couple of things. First, our school board chair, Butch Campbell, he's not here tonight because he had surgery yesterday. He's doing great. He's just home recovering. And also remember our colleagues down the street at Middle Tennessee State University who've had kind of a rough couple of days. So think about them as well. For our pledge tonight, we have some students here to lead us in that. We have Wyatt Shingledecker, a third grader at Cason Lane. We have Braylon Cyberon, a third grader at Cason Lane. We have MJ Young, a first grader from John Pittard, and Blakely Higgs, also a first grader from John Pittard. So if you all could come up, and we'll all stand now, and they'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by our moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, board members, you have seen a copy of the agenda tonight. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Long. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. All right, next up we have communications, and we have Ms. Lisa Trail here to tell us our news items. Ms. Trail.
Hi, thank you. We want to start out with a few thank yous. First of all, I want to recognize and thank our Coordinated School Health Department for their outstanding work in organizing multiple sports clinics for our students. The clinics have included softball and tennis at MTSU, as well as multiple basketball opportunities for our small ones, as well as our upper grades. So we appreciate all the work that Coordinated School Health has been doing, in addition to all their screenings this past month. Thank you also to the First Presbyterian Church for donating cleaning supplies to the teachers of Reeves-Rogers, and to St. Mark's United Methodist for donating clothing for the students and snacks for the teachers at Reeves-Rogers. We want to acknowledge Crumble Cookies of Murfreesboro for their support of MCS's We See You initiative. They have been great community partners with us. And then we had a special call from Maurice's last week. Maurice's, the clothing store, donated several bags of clothing for our students, and those have already been given out to our social workers so that they can get them to the students who need them. Excellent. First Baptist Church rolled up last week with a surprise for us. They had a generous donation of food to help support our backpack program. They're also organizing another food drive for us, so we appreciate that congregation and all that they're doing to help us make sure that those backpacks go home with lots of goodies for our kids. Thanks to our new community partner, H3 Church. They donated 15 boxes of school supplies to our teacher supply closet. They have been a great new partner with us. The foundation Serve It Up tennis and pickleball tournament is November 8th through 9th at Adams Tennis Complex for tennis and Irma Siegel Elementary for pickleball. So if you would like to join us, we welcome you to do so. And then finally, Discovery School will begin their new parent meetings on November 19th at 6 p.m. Additional meetings will be held in December and January, and all of that information for Discovery School will be sent out to parents and to our media next week. That's your communications.
Thank you very much, Ms. Trail, and thank you to all our community partners. Next up on the agenda, the Best of MCS.
Good evening, Board. Good evening. We are so excited tonight to recognize our October Best of MCS. Let's start this over. Wow. How about that? We're going to rewind it for a second. So we are excited tonight to recognize our October Best of MCS honoree, and publicly thank this employee for the hard work that they've contributed to MCS. And I'm honored to ask Ms. Julie Seymour to join me at the podium. Ms. Seymour has served MCS for the past 16 years. Her career with us began as a substitute teacher, and this opened the door for her to become an educational assistant at Cason Lane Academy. As an EA at Cason Lane, she worked in the front office, she coached the Lego robotics team, she assisted with the Beta Club, in addition to many other things. In 2020, she was instrumental in helping to create the STEM lab at Cason Lane and served as the educational assistant who coordinated this space. From there, she transitioned to Discovery School, where she served as their comm coach. In this role, she supported students in developing their emotional regulation skills and helped them develop the skills needed to be successful in the classroom. However, last year, she transitioned back to working in STEAM by taking over the STEAM lab at the Discovery School. Her principal, Dr. Bullard, has worked with her at both Cason Lane and Discovery. Dr. Bullard told me that throughout each of the positions Julie has held, she has witnessed her unwavering dedication to building meaningful relationships, fostering innovation, and constantly going above and beyond not only her expectations, but anything anyone could have dreamed up for the role. In her current role as the STEM coordinator at Discovery School, Julie has reinvigorated the school community through her passion for technology, collaboration, and authentic problem solving. She has designed and implemented engaging hands-on STEM lessons that challenge students to think critically and creatively, making technology and engineering accessible to all. Dr. Bullard says that her ability to bridge classroom learning with real-world applications has deepened the students' understanding of core concepts and ignited a love for discovery and experimentation. Julie's dedication extends beyond the classroom. She actively engages with our community partners, parents, and fellow educators to create opportunities for students to explore STEM fields. She is also an advocate for all students, serving as a caring mentor and giving those who have a variety of needs the opportunity to experience success. Her tireless efforts to foster a positive and inclusive learning environment make her an outstanding candidate for our Best of MCS recognition, as she continues to inspire and connect both students and staff through her daily work. Ms. Seymour, you are an amazing example of why our educational assistants are so critical to us meeting our mission at MCS. Thank you for your dedication to our district and to making MCS a great place for our students. We are definitely a better district because of your work, and we are so grateful for your talents, your passion, and all that you bring to our district and to Discovery School. Congratulations, Ms. Seymour.
That's okay.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have our Spotlight on Education, our Farm to School program. And it looks like Ms. Sandy Sheely will be telling us about that.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
As you know, October is the National Farm to School Month, and we at MCS are so grateful for our program that we have, our Farm to School program, which right behind me, I have 3 of our farmer educators here with us. I have Rachel, Molly, and Joanna. Matthew cannot make it this evening, but he sent us a cute little video a while ago. He's milking cows, so he sent us a picture of all the cows being milked, and he said, the ladies are wishing you all good luck. So
Do we get to see this? This seems interesting.
it's not part of MCS, so no. But I do want to share a little video with you of our Farm to School program at MCS, and hopefully you'll enjoy our little program. few of you got to join us last week and come out to one of the gardens and see what the farmers do and ask them some questions. One of the things that you saw the last part was Molly handing out little cups of sweet potato smoothies. So they had planted sweet potatoes, harvested them, cooked them, processed them, and made sweet potato smoothies for our 4th, 5th, and 6th graders to taste test at our schools. So that's been one of their projects this month. So I just can't say how much I appreciate the 3 of these ladies plus Matthew and what they do for our children. Not only are we teaching them where their food comes from, but we're also tying in our curriculum with our science and our math. So it's quite the amazing program, and I was able to speak about that also last week at a conference, and the overwhelming excitement of it, it was just from Vanderbilt to past vice president, it was just in awe, and I'm so proud of them. So if you have any questions, they are here to answer your questions.
Thank you. Any questions, board?
No, but I would like to say, I mean, the program is absolutely amazing. I mean, we just so enjoyed participating. Thank you for all your work.
Yes, Madam Chair, I would echo exactly that, but what strikes me maybe the most, as hyper-technical and nerdy as I am, and I enjoy all of it, is how many smiles you see, how engaged these kiddos are in something as nerdy and cool and neat as this. So rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. This is very, very cool.
And if I can add, you mentioned it, but you want to tell the board who moderated the panel you were on last week?
So last week I was invited to a underground climate conference, and past Vice President Al Gore was the moderator and the host.
Oh, wow.
So it was quite the experience. I was just sharing it with some of the ladies here of the things that were discussed and the need to make sure we have clean, healthy food for our children, so they can grow up and be healthy and take care of our babies.
Absolutely.
Sure, that's a real honor. One more thing I wanted to ask. You told us last week when we were there a little bit about how unique our program in Murfreesboro City Schools is compared to the rest of Tennessee. Would you mind sharing that as well?
As far as we know, we are the only elementary school district in Tennessee to have a farm to school program like we do. And from what I could tell with the program, the conference I attended last week, because there was people from all over the world there, I think we're very, very rare. So, because afterwards I was bombarded with questions and people wanting help, and so we're very grateful for what we have.
Well, that makes me have a question. If we're bombarded with questions, do we think we would be bombarded with grant money?
That was something that was discussed, because I had brought up the last farm to school grant that Lisa Trail and I wrote, and it took us over 80 hours. Well, it seemed much longer than that, and we thought we were struggling. We're like, what's wrong with us?
Sure.
And at the very end of it, it says, if you haven't spent at least 80 hours on this grant, you need to go back and rework it.
Wow.
So we felt much better about ourselves, and we did get the grant. So that was something that was brought up, and actually there was a FaceTime call with not Governor, Vilsack.
Oh, Secretary.
From the Ag Department, from the USDA. And that was something that Vice President Gore had brought up to him, was the difficult time that schools have writing these grants. So hopefully they'll take the hint and make it a little easier, and so more kids can experience what we get to experience here.
That's incredible.
I think it is important to point out, if I can, she talks about the grants, but we have 4 full-time farmers, and I think I saw, no,
Two
two
full-time.
part-times. 2 part-times. We have 4 farmer head counts right now.
Yes.
I know y'all just did some interviews for some more.
Yes.
But I do think it's important for the board and the public to know that, again, these are farmer educators that we employ as a district. And Sandy talked a lot about grant money. That was a great grant that got us started. But as of today, this is something we're funding out of the school nutrition budget, outside of grant money, which again shows the value we place on it. And again, those of you got to see the garden last week, saw what the kids were doing. We're talking real farm to table. When you're some of you got to taste the food that we got, let's say, right? And so just a great program. We're so proud of our farmer educators, from our tower gardens to our outside gardens to and everything in between.
Yeah, we're lucky. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have public comment, and we do have public comment tonight. Dr. Mall, are you our comment from the Murfreesboro Education Association?
Hi, I am so happy to see you all. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dr. Christy Mull, and I've been teaching in Murfreesboro City Schools. This is now my 31st year. So I've been very blessed to work in such a wonderful school system. But this is actually the very first time that I've ever appeared in this role. Normally I'm here presenting about Beta or accomplishments of my students, but today I'm here representing the Murfreesboro Education Association, and Luke Dickerson was going to present tonight and he is ill, so I'm taking his place, but he has very sweetly provided everything for me. So I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak to all of you tonight. I am here tonight to submit to you a petition that contains the signatures of Murfreesboro City Schools educators regarding collaborative conferencing. As this board knows, Tennessee law recognizes that a collaborative relationship between the board and its professional employees will assist in the establishment and maintenance of an educational climate and working environment that will attract and retain a highly qualified professional staff. Collaborative conferencing, or PECA as it's known, recognizes the obligations of the board and its teachers to collaborate on matters relating to terms and conditions of professional employee service and sets forth the process whereby we can work together towards producing an agreement or a memorandum of understanding on issues such as salary, insurance, and working conditions. By turning in these signatures, we signify our desire to begin this collaborative process. We hope to join dozens of school systems across our state who have completed this process and have successfully ratified a memorandum of understanding between the district and its employees. The law puts the burden on educators to obtain the signatures to start this process in the specific month of October. As the board knows, under the law, once this petition has been submitted to you, the board then has the duty to appoint an equal number of board members and professional employees to serve on a special education committee, who will set up the conditions and particulars of conducting a confidential poll of all eligible professional employees. This confidential poll is a vote by teachers about whether they would like to engage in collaborative conferencing. As president of MEA, I would be honored to accept an appointment to be on the Special Question Committee if this board sees fit. Again, thank you for accepting this petition, and MEA looks forward to working with you on this process going forward. And they wrote a note, would it be possible for someone to take my picture? So I thought that was hilarious. They sent me this and they were like, make sure you get a picture. So I just want to say thank you so much. We're excited to start this process, and Dr. Duke has already been magnanimous in all of his help. So we are looking forward to working on this with you.
Excellent. Post for your photo.
I was about to take it.
There's my picture.
Oh, no, here, we'll get the real one. Okay.
Yeah.
The real one.
All right.
Official, I believe, is the word.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Well, thank you, Dr. Mall, very much.
Thank you.
You know, in Murfreesboro City Schools, we are very proud of our strong relationship that we have with MEA. And this collaborative conferencing process, it's also known as PECA, as you said, and it is structured and governed by state law. So this is not just something we're coming up with on the fly. So now that we have the minimum of the 15% of our professional employees, so they've submitted this written request to engage in collaborative conferencing. So now it's the duty of the board to appoint a special question committee to determine how we're going to conduct the confidential poll of all the professional employees. So as Dr. Moss said, we are going to appoint this committee. The responsibility of assigning committees, as we know, lies with the chair of the board. So Chairman Campbell, he has already done this. He's gone ahead and provided us a list for the special conference committee. So representing MEA, Dr. Christy Mall, Luke Dickerson, and Teresa Rotella. And then representing the board, Chairman Campbell, our Director of Human Resources, Dr. Maria Johnson, and our staff attorney, Ms. Lauren Bush. And then our board member, Barbara Long, will be our backup board member if needed for Chairman Campbell.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to getting to work with you on this. It's a first experience for me to be on this team, so I'm excited to do something so new and something so special. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I think we're all very excited about that.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right, it is time for the consent agenda. Board, you have seen the items on the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve our consent items?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Dodd. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Price. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Action items. First up, we have approval of the 2024-2025 TISA Accountability Report. Dr. Duke.
Yes, ma'am. Tennessee state law requires that each school district submit an annual TISA funding accountability report to the Tennessee Department of Education. This report must include goals for student achievement, an explanation of how the district's goals can be met within the district's budget, a description of how the district's budget and expenditures from prior school year enabled the district to make progress toward the stated student achievement goals. Each district's TISA accountability report is required to be presented to the public for review and comment before the report is submitted to the department. We submitted our report to our families and opened it for comment, and we received 38 comments on the plan, and 90% of those were from our parents. The goals and strategies in the TISA accountability report do align with our 5-year strategic plan that the board has previously approved. You have a copy of the full plan in your packet, and this report must be submitted annually to the department by November 1st. We are recommending approval of the TISA accountability plan as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the TISA Accountability Report?
So moved. Ooh, give it to her.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Do I have a second? Mr. Richardson?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion on this item?
No, ma'am.
All right, let's take a vote. All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it is approved. Next, we have approval of the Science Textbook Adoption Committee members.
Yes, ma'am. Board Policy 4.400 clarifies that the responsibility to select textbooks and instructional materials as recommended by the State Textbook Commission rests with the local textbook selection committee, subject to approval by the Board of Education. Tonight in your packet, we are presenting the proposed list of members for our Science Textbook Adoption Committee for board approval. This committee will work over the next few months and the rest of this year, really, to analyze the state-approved materials and make a recommendation to the board for the new science curriculum. Representatives from every school are included on the committee, as well as the district's special education and ESL staff. Ms. Sherry Arnett is available to answer any questions the board may have on this process, and we are recommending approval of the committee as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the committee?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Dodd. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Price. Any questions?
I
Hearing-
assume Leah Barch is going to be a part of this as well. Is that correct?
That is correct. So she is leading it with Ms. Arnett.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And we have approved the committee. Next, approval of growth positions. Dr. Duke.
Yes, we are, as the board's aware, we're seeing an increase in students in our population who are requiring special education in English as a second language service. Due to this, we are requesting the board approve the following growth positions above what was approved in our FY25 budget. This includes one additional special education resource teacher for Black Fox Elementary. Currently, the number I'm going to give you is different than what's in your packet because we ran new numbers today. Currently, there are 77 students at Black Fox being served by the 2 resource teachers, and we expect that number to continue to grow as the year progresses. So providing them an additional staff member would put them more in line with the ratios of resource teacher to special education students in the rest of our district. Additionally, we're asking for one additional ESL teaching position that would be split between Salem Elementary and Scales Elementary, serving half-time at each school, as well as an additional half-time ESL teacher for John Pittard Elementary. The state does require for our ESL program a 1:35 ratio, and MCS, as of last week, is currently above that, barely. We're at 1:35.3. And the additional 1.5 positions would put us below the state ratio. The fiscal impact of this approval would be the increase in teacher salaries based, of course, on their years of experience and their benefits, And those increases would be found in the 71200 category, which is our special education category, and the 71100 category, which is our regular instruction program, which is where ESL is funded. At this time, we are not recommending a budget amendment because we do put the majority of our staff are in those two line items, and we typically see how that falls in the end of the year and do a budget cleanup as we can. So I cannot say for sure we won't require a budget amendment, but at this point, we don't feel like one is immediately necessary. But these additional positions would help us meet the needs of these students as we continue to work with our staff.
All right, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve these additional positions?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Long.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Any questions or comments?
Yes, Madam Chair. It's sort of tangential to this, but as that population grows, do we anticipate an impact on our TISA funding as that population grows?
Yes, so we do. So last year, in fact, interestingly enough, we actually ended up qualifying for fast growth funds, specifically around the weights of those two populations of students, because we saw some pretty significant growth last year. Will we qualify again this year? I don't know. What I do know is we know the base for a student is $7,075. Then there's additional funds if they require additional services. So we would get additional funds for both our ESL students and our students who require special education services through the TISA formula. Most of those funds, though, or I should say those funds in general, won't be realized until next year. Because we're funded a year behind, we are building next year's budget with these students.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Duke. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor of approving the additional positions, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? And there is none. Thank you. Next, we have approval of a budget amendment for Title III immigrant grant.
Yes, our federal programs and finance department are seeking approval for funds awarded in our Title III immigrant grant in the amount of $4,962. Funds from this grant will be used to provide supplementary professional development opportunities for our ESL staff who directly impact the instruction of our immigrant students. I do want to point out this is the second time we've brought a Title III grant to you this year. The first time we brought back in September, I believe it was in August, was we asked the board to approve $9,800. That was actually for that leftover money from the year before that the state redistributed, and they asked if anyone would like some extra money, and we said absolutely. That original allocation, that $9,800, we actually had spent by September 30th. So we've already encumbered those funds, used it to buy some programs for our ESL students. So this $4,962 you're approving tonight is actually this year's money that we're looking at that we'll use for professional development, and we'll have until June 30th of 2025 to expend it.
Thank you. Do you have a motion to approve this budget amendment?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Any questions?
I have a question. So why, this may be a stupid question, but why is it less? Why is the grant less? What's it based on?
So the grant, that amount, and I can pull the exact amount, is pretty close to what we received last year. The $9,800 we received, again, was federal money that the state was going to lose that was unspent. And so they looked at reallocating those to the districts that wanted it, and they did that based on population. This money is more in line to what we typically get, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions? I have a question about this one, Dr. Duke. The money is to be used for professional development opportunities for staff that directly impact the instruction of immigrant students. So is this for ESL teachers? Or because I know, at least in some of our schools, the classroom teachers are also wanting some resources and training about how to deal with students who are still learning English in their general classroom. And will this affect them at all, or just our ESL?
Sure. I'm actually going to ask Ms. Arnett to come up and talk a little bit about the professional development. You know, the board is aware we have a new ESL supervisor, Dr. Sarah Chumney, who is doing an amazing job, and she has quite the PD plan worked out, so I'll let you discuss it there.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
With these funds, Dr. Chumney, as Dr. Duke just mentioned, did reach out to our ESL teachers just to see what professional development that they wanted to use with these funds. When we got the survey back, it was clear that they really wanted to do some differentiated PD around ELPA 21 that's taken the place of WIDA. Our hopes were that once we delivered this training to the ESL teachers, then they would go back and redeliver that to the classroom teachers as needed.
And could you clarify what ELPA and WIDA are, please?
So
Just
WIDA,
generally.
and Dr. Duke, jump in here and help me out a little bit if needed. WIDA was the assessment that we use for ESL students that has been replaced this year with ELPA 21.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
those two assessments that determine if
Yeah.
a student qualifies for
Or they-
ESL services. Again, because even if a student has a home language other than English, that does not automatically mean they're an ESL student. So that assessment determines if they need services, and also determines when they can stop receiving those additional services.
And
So-
who administers that?
The ESL teachers do administer that.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any questions for Ms. Arnett?
No, ma'am.
I do want to, if I may, Madam Chair, I do want to say I can't take this opportunity without talking about the quality of our ESL staff. Luke, who Christy mentioned earlier, I wish he was here so he could hear us say that, but hopefully he's watching. But all of our ESL teachers are doing an incredible job with a very fast-growing population for us, and they do it with just such high integrity and with such great compassion. And I just can't say enough, and I know you would say the same about Dr. Chumney and what she has brought, the knowledge and the passion she has brought to that team. I'm so excited about where that department is headed, where it's going, and how we're going to meet the needs of that team.
Absolutely. I would echo the same thing. Very passionate teachers, and Dr. Chumney has just jumped in, just doing amazing work, and we're just seeing amazing things from our ESL department for sure.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, we have a motion and a second, so let's take a vote. All those in favor of approving this new funding for our Title III grant, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? And the motion passes. Next, we have approval of a budget amendment for some donations to our general purpose fund.
Yes, this amendment recognizes individual donations for the indigent children care that was made in memory of former Irma Siegel Elementary teacher, Mr. Rich Campbell. The amendment allocates $125 in our support for other students line items to help assist children in need. The amendment does not change our fund balance, and the board has previously approved similar donations. This money came in after that last budget amendment, so we wanted to add that as well. So we are recommending approval as presented.
Madam Chair, I would be honored to make a motion to approve those funds.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dodd. Any questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Next, we have approval of our revenue and expenditure report. Mr. Owens.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
You have my packet. I would like to go over a few things and then entertain any questions you may have. On the comparison of budget and total from last year to this year, we are in the red, another $600,000 from this time last year. However, that's expected. Obviously, we've increased our revenue and expenditures for this upcoming year. So just be aware that is expected, but we're okay. The next thing that I would like to point out is our revenue comparison. If you'll go over to the right, it gives us percentage points based off our budgeted items. One thing that may stand out is our local sales option tax is down percentage basis, but we've actually received in more money. That's due to us actually increasing our budget to a higher amount this coming year. So we did receive in already almost 75,000 more this time than last. So that is good. That is going towards our projection. And then
And we would
finally-
encourage everyone to continue to shop.
Shop
and
local.
Shop local.
And often.
And often.
often.
Christmas is coming.
And one other little highlight is, I keep bringing up our interest. We're already 75,000 more than what we even budgeted this year through 3 months. So that's good news.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes, Madam Chair, it may be the most important question of the evening. Where'd you get that blazer?
I had to ask my wife. Good question.
Good answer.
Purchased locally, so we got sales tax off of it. I'm sure of it. Yes.
Thank you very much. Excellent report.
Any questions for Mr. Owens? All right. Do I have a motion to approve the revenue and expenditure report?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dodd. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? No, and it is approved.
Madam Chair, if I may, I do want to point out, since Daniel he talked a little about the interest revenue we're seeing and looking at that, and I just want to say thank you to Daniel. He has done some really great work, really looking at our investments, looking at options, looking at what we can do to make sure, and doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work to make sure we're getting every penny we can. So I just want to publicly thank him. Sometimes that goes unnoticed, but when we talk about every dollar counts, he's doing an excellent job finding every dollar.
Thank you. We need them. Thank you. All right, reports and information. Personnel report.
Yes, your personnel report's included in the packet. This ranges from September 18th through October 23rd, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to address those.
Okay. Next, we have our enrollment report. Mr. Rocha.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am going to be presenting period 2 for you tonight, once I get these slides up here for you. So as a reminder, period 2 is September 5th to October 3rd, so we're looking back in time. That's a 20-day reporting period. As we take a look, you're going to see our previous period and then also last year's period of the same time. So I won't read all of those numbers to you, but we have a +8 from the previous period. And looking at period 9 of last year, we're down 121 students, and we do anticipate those numbers increasing. Looking at our truancy rates, we are up by 12 students. And looking at our chronic absentee rate, that number typically drops throughout the year. That number is down by 5% as well. Looking at our PTRs, those are up just by 0.0s. And as we look at the graph, this is our trend of those periods from the beginning of the year. You'll see that we're pretty consistent. You're looking at that blue line there. We saw one peak that 4th week there. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Yes, Madam Chair. Do we have a breakdown, not necessarily readily available, but of the different tiers our truant families are in?
Yes, sir.
And the numbers accordingly?
We do.
Excellent.
So if you look at your handout there, you'll see something that's labeled truancy. So those are your days within the period. So far, we have 2 families that we've met with previously go into tier 3, and then we have another 3 that are scheduled moving forward. So those will increase as we continue the school year.
Certainly. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
And we're meeting with them one-on-one, correct?
We are meeting with them at the central office with typically the principal. We have a social worker, Ms. Bush, myself, and then we're also going to be bringing in Family Preservation Society, a DCS rep and juvenile services for wraparound services and support.
Thank you.
Right.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next, director's update. Dr. Duke.
Yes, thank you again. It's been a very busy month, and I just want to shout out a couple things to make sure it's on the board's radar. First of all, I want to say congratulations, if you didn't see it last week, to Black Fox teacher Francesca Graffio. She's a 2nd grade teacher, and she was one of 20 teachers in the state to be named a 2024 Tennessee Early Educator Award winner. So we're incredibly proud of Ms. Graffio. This award honors exceptional early childhood educators and highlights the critical role they play for Tennessee's children. We are so proud of her. We've talked at length about our commitment to ensuring we're providing excellent literacy instruction for every child, and Ms. Graffio is definitely one of the best. So we were so proud that she was honored with that award for one of 20 in the state. They surprised her last Friday, and she will actually be at our November board meeting, so we're going to publicly recognize her from there. Also want to say, Ms. Trail mentioned it, but I wanted to emphasize again our coordinated school health department. I mean, very busy. Very busy October. You know, we've worked really hard to have some really great clinics, and those are still going on, sports activities for our students. So as she said, softball clinics with MTSU, tennis clinics. I was at Hobgood last week for one of the basketball clinics that's been happening. Kids are loving it, thanks to our staff who are putting it on, but it's a lot of late afternoons for our coordinated school health department, so I really want to thank them for that work going on. And I think we just finished up the majority of our parent universities have been finishing up. What we're currently working on is our latest Born Learning Academy. This time we're doing it at Scales. That's in partnership with United Way. Went by that last week, going fantastic. It may be, Lisa, probably the most families we've had at a Born Learning Academy? Yeah, there's a lot. And so I can't thank United Way enough for their partnership, and we continue to get excellent feedback from our parents on that Born Learning Academy, so we're really proud of that work. So it's been a very busy month for our departments that are working on making sure we're giving students those wraparound services and opportunities. So I wanted to shout them out. As a reminder, we are out of school on Tuesday. It is election day, so our schools are closed. We will be having professional development for our teachers that day, so teachers will be there, but there will be no students in the building. And then I also want to remind the board that immediately following this meeting, board will be going into an executive session. And that's all my updates for tonight.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any other business to come before the board?
No, ma'am, not other business, Madam Chair, but as I settle into my second term on the school board, I've had the opportunity to see school boards across the state, how extraordinary it feels, what an honor and privilege to serve on a board where we put the things that matter most foremost, our children, our educators, our schools, and not some of this knuckleheadedness that I see on the news. That doesn't reflect what our educators are about, what our families are about, what public free education is about. And to serve with individuals that have integrity, that have a spirit for service and a heart for children is an absolute honor. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Any other business? We will close with that then. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
A second?
Second.
Thank you, and I'm assuming no one opposes.
And good night.